Wow.
Praying against any false prophecy concerning life.
Thank you, cherished viewer of wonderful channel like this, Mission and Ministry Sylvester. I want to take this as an opportunity, a greater opportunity, as never reaching you out from such an environment. But I would like to take this most grateful highest path to tune you into that powerful line. The devil, who is always a liar, has always been that person who becomes a herd, a forehead, or his eye upon you. But I want to say that this is what you have to make right now. We need to talk about something very powerful, something very important here. We'll be talking about this as we describe in this conversation. And this is what you need to know from this. We are saying that if you have any reason to subscribe and stay tuned to all that is actually led by Spirit, and subscribe for your great life is very important to the Holy Lord and the Holy One. But if you are not led by Spirit, there is no need you do this, because whatever the Spirit can bear in their own flesh or waters or blood, you as an ordinary person, you can't even bear it. For Christ even did say that this is something that most of you actually cannot do. So I just want to say that it is very precious, very important, very powerful, but not as precious as something the devil is. I command it to be as I do it from my very own channel, that nothing here will be as something led by someone somewhere else. For I know what is here is different from what is elsewhere. We don't serve the same God. We don't have the same spirit. It is better you know this, because the spirit that led someone to that destruction is not the same spirit that made someone be a virgin or be obedient to the Lord than sacrificing. So that it is true that many are they that have sacrificed many things unto many things, but they are all not on that path, unless the Lord actually rule and make a path for you. Says, it is this you have done that he, the Lord, has spoken concerning your sacrifices. But it is this obedience that led to that sacrifice, so that you would sacrifice. Some of you will end up sacrificing maybe 10 cows before you become a prophet, or 3 cows before a prophet, but that doesn't make you a prophet. I just want us to be so serious and so real to the spirit what they are. Actually, my ear is so very powerful, open to you, somebody talking to you at a distance. The Lord, whose power is of these very powerful graphics and of truth and purity of these holy mountains and these great places that we are right now. I just want to have this short prayer power pack in you, the good that we have been given and not that everyone is given. But they that truly connect themselves with the Holy One or the angel, they actually truly be given spirit and power of purity, a spirit and power of great protection, spirit and power of such an environment, serene environment. Now I'll be talking about this wonderful prayer. This is holy and it's most holy. You need it all. Do your best as always from this very live broadcast, and make sure you don't fake one thing here. When there's a testimony, bring it to me also what I deserve, because the one who deserves 1/10 or 10% of your real testimony is that truth. That is what you can say is truth, the tangible truth. Truth is something you can touch. That is the evidence of faith. Faith is a practical doing and spirit. So if you have anything being delivered unto you that you did not bring a little of it, it would have assumed that you didn't have anything. Now with this, I can surely say that I have the right and power to do this, as I always have done it. So be that person who also is led by that spirit and the spirit of the Lord Almighty. There are things we can bear in this place that you cannot bear. There are things I can bear in this place that no prophet on this earth can bear. There are things I can do that no church can do, because this is led by a mission from heaven. This is not earthly things, but if there be anyone on earth to have received of heaven, that person will show you how he received it. It is not by what they have done that I receive it, but if I speak in talking tongues, signs, and all things, this is one of them. Now, when you have been asked to begin to speak in tongues, it is not the tongues that you speak that matters here. And when you have a name of a person, that name is not so important to me than the location. Because if I have any name be given, I'll trace to find out what this place is. Because that place is original. But that name may have been given by someone to you. Because that is where deceit will begin to come up with. Of all the prayer that I want us to do right now is this that I'm doing now. Don't think prayer is different from what I'm doing. This is a real communication. The one who is of communication, the angel who is of communication actually will do such things that you may understand or may not, but the result should be the excellence that we need right now. Thank you so much for your attention. Share this broadcast, live broadcast with someone because you need it and they need it more. But if you are truly being given quick in spirit, you will not even hesitate to call in me here, talking to me, somebody. May I not take the opportunity of what we have not seen with our eyes, yet is believing. This is one that he said one day you will surely see what you believe that you didn't even see first. But it is dangerous to also believe something without seeing it. So it means that you should not be a lazy person or idle person. That means that you are not to be that person who only heareth the word without doing. You must assess it as you have been given. Because for they that were witnesses to such things, I won't be calling many, so that it won't be like we are calling on dead bodies, but by the Spirit, the living flesh, the Spirit of the Lord. I am so excellent in this here and all that. So do well and listen. Now, this is what I'm going to do now. Here you can also do this. We actually have to understand one thing. I'm talking to myself and the angels, and myself and the spirit, myself and the soul of my greatest, and my kingdom. All this put together is as one kingdom of heaven. This is all we can tell you right now. Now, in this I said, Mount Sinai Horeb. Mount Sinai, or I'm simply saying Mount Horeb. This is where you can actually say the Lord have a covenant of dwelling, because it happened on this mountain that one wonderful man, one wonderful angel, one wonderful faithful one, led by his flesh and his spirit and his waters, he actually went on this very mountain, high mountains, to receive of what is of heavenly, and that this mountain that even could not withstand 17, but is still up to date, some a testimony, a living testimony. May this all communication power and the greatest power of the 07 and the 05, the 06, 07 communicate the power of truth and reality. If there be anything written in the Holy Scriptures, what would you do if you have to find out what the truth? You have to actually spend money to do this by traveling, tour. You have to tour places to find out if this was really true, if this is so true that we have done it. But to some extent, most of you do not even have what it takes to go to travel around. So advantage is this person who travel thinking you have been given work to do somewhere, but taking that advantage of what? A tour or visiting such places that you ever dreamed of or never dreamed of. But advantage is that you have also been given there or taken to that place. Now, what I'm saying is, whether you have been to this place or not, once you have an powerful angel that had communicated the very true image of that place. Not just image now, because this is the true creation of what it is over there. You will not go there and see a different thing. Unless something alters, a new thing or a new system today. If a Sylvester or great powerful person or the great one like me, just go there today, I'll surely touch on one thing here. I'll surely make a change. I'll make an impact. And that impact is that I'm saying that praying against any false prophecy concerning your life, which is not from your making. This is what you have not called for, and somebody is saying that the Lord is saying, and yet you don't know it. Now, may this very PowerPoint, a conversation, a true, powerful Spirit of the Lord Almighty, who dwelleth on this mountain, not a name, but a location, which is more than the name, because the location will tell you the truth that He holds a covenant with this place, other than the name that you have been heard of or carrying here and there. But if you say this place, then you may have been given a new name, indeed a new name. I command right now by the authority of the highest of these mountains, the authority of His hills, and the great power of the true servant, the true powerful one, the Christ, the just Christ, who had His prayer on the Mount of Olives. May His power on the Mount of Olives connect quickly. He who has given and extended His greatness to us, some of us who had appeared this day. Oh, my Lord and greatest, such a great, wonderful angel among angels, spirit among spirit, soul among souls, flesh among flesh, water among waters, great blood among bloods, living power, He who had a cloud of glory, the most high power ordained, high-powered authority. May the goodness of this fellowship and power prayer testify to whatever you have done and what you have not done that somebody says you have done. May your good doing and what you have done separate us from every snare of the wicked, from the demons, from the devils, from Satan himself, knowing very well, if you are true close and closer to that Lord, you will surely know something about this person who tormented somebody. But if you have been redeemed right now by this power covenant, the dwelling place of the Most High, O Lord Almighty, He will command Himself and move Himself to places. May the covenant power, the covering power, may the covering power, may the greater powers of the Lord Almighty, the Lord who is moving powerful things right now into this situation, may His power, a great power, He who gave commandment. Now, before you face this place, it means you must have observed the commandment that was given, and you must have also summarized it according as the great mountain of olives, so that they shall not fail. Because the Lord who was on Mount Sinai, the great Mount Horeb, the Lord who also dwelt on that mountain that day He had given, so it is given to this day, so that every prophecy concerning life, concerning the righteous, that is not of the Lord, may this covenant of Mount Sinai and the Mount Horeb command the devil out of this territory, and the word and tongue that was spoken ever that day, let it be divided and commanded that cannot ascend and shake it ground to that holy grounds the Lord had commanded it, and to that ascender where He ascended and where He descended. The Lord who made it, let His own good and spirit and power deal with all those things by His command given to His holy angels. May the spirit of uncleanness be taken away by the super great power, energies, power, the spirit and strength of all truth, the power working through this Mount Sinai and Mount of Horeb, that it is days that the Lord has said, we will not be as is a condition to say it on until we go to Jerusalem to pray. It is said that for even that kingdom shall meet us places like this. May this word never fail. A word that somebody swear that is not true, may the Lord take it upon Him own power and His own strength, and decree and destroy the cause of covenant of every witches and witchcraft, whatever it is that has not been ordained by the Spirit of truth and covenant of the Lord of dwelling. May His angels begin to work through spirit, physically, and immortality, and common power, the great power of the Lord Almighty. Let Him work for our great finances. This is holy and most holy. This is where the Lord had actually travailed. This is where He prevailed. This is where He killed whom He will. This is where He caused the earth split open to swallow Him will, and the power of it. This is where the Lord who had given had commanded it, and that day they must have observed it through days it was given to save. His name actually is to save. Now He who is to save truly has been given to save. The Lord who is holy, holy and holy one, He who has commanded holiness to never fail. Every deadly situation proclaimed and pronounced by the unclean such a person, the Lord take you out of a life, image, power, a spirit power, virtue power, light power, and the air presence, your presence. The Lord whose presence dwell ever in this place, may this Lord command the witchcraft and wickedness of people from their mountains. Every mountain that is again the mountain of the Lord. This is the dwelling place and mighty powerful place of the holy, most holy Lord, the Lord who commanded, and it shall not be taken for granted. The Lord commanded such a day that every word spoken against the righteous, the Lord rebuke it and send back to that sender right now. May the Lord whose power never fail in that Exodus, it shall not fail. In that Deuteronomy, it shall not fail. Even in the very revelations, the Lord command any deaf and dead body taken out of his place right now and taken out of our poor body. Everyone needing something in the Lord. See, such a person you refer to as those who are poor in spirit. The Lord surely will come and you know what you need. May the Lord see us through right now. The ones who are on the path of righteousness and holiness. Every bird of unclean, every situation unclean that the Lord commanded in the Numbers and all Leviticus and all of that. May this function so well that every unclean spirit, unclean flesh, unclean water, unclean blood, unclean testimony of heavens, let out all that is unclean be taken out right now. Let the food I shall eat Let the food Sylvester, the great one who supplies more, shall eat. Never be a problem. As you tap in, it will be the good testimony right now. This is not just one who speaks it, but he's doing it. May you also receive such power that would beat your enemies and power down your enemies. This is not words, just words. I speak that, oh Lord, since 2015, I beheld position of a manager having worked through the biggest times and the wilderness of power. But I decree, oh Lord, every mountain that is against my own mountain, every mountain that is against my situation, every mountain that is against my word, my tongue, my spirit, let that mountain be trashed down right now by the power of Mount Sinai, by the authority of Mount Horeb, in the mighty, majestic authority in my homes. The Lord decree and will take out every evil spirit that is any altar that is raised on uncleanness, that is working and defending only wickedness. Lord, by the power and the situation of Mount Sinai and Mount Horeb, let their situation be crushed down right now. Whatever system they're using, may the Lord see his own location and say that truly I have faced that powerful place to say that, Lord, your greatest power, if I have been led by this love, so it shall not fail when I face it into power. When I say it, I climb. When I also climb, I receive something. And I did so much good without destroying anything that will is of hand. The Lord whose creation I never destroy, but I appreciate it. But the Lord who commanded, anyone who wants the righteous condemned in any situation, any false prophecy concerning the life of the righteous, let it be turned down right now. Because Mount Sinai and Mount Sinai, Mount Horeb, this is all true communication point where the Lord had dealt with somebody before his own holiness. He dealt with them. May this fire consuming the spirit, the splendor of the Spirit of the Lord, consume every witchcraft and unclean spirit of all that have spoken against the righteous and they that think it, we have done something wrong. I speak by love and the spirit of love, for it is written that, but the fruit of the Spirit is love. So whoever is displaying love unconditional by a distance to distance and places, this is true benefit, a true witness of whom he said it shall be given us. He who was given first to say that he is the love. Thank you so much. I know what you've done right now. By my traveling, my cross countries, places, physically, spiritually, every tongue of beast, I decree that you can be a part of it. Every tongue of flesh and flesh of fire of uncleanness, the Lord will break you. The Lord send you of every serpent that do not respect the authority of life and do want to really cause destruction in the backbone. I command it by the Spirit of the Lord Almighty to dwell in place of the Spirit of the Lord Almighty in Mount Horeb and Mount Seir. Greatest is higher, great power, and a great Mount of Olive. The Lord commanded, and it shall not fail today, to decree. The Lord who says, gold and silver is his, so it is. Every word also that is communicating false in this country, Lord, may you turn them down by your power, by the true situation of the great location. For the location is very important. So it is. And time arrival and time arising. Lord, on my ladder, the power, I command it, and let it not fail to fashion against the enemy. Power, as they have done, always wrong. Deceive not any spirit that is here in me, but throw your light and a vision that is true vision, by the power of the most high powers, by the power of the most porous presence, by the power of the most name ordained, by the power of the most holy virgins, in the mighty power of them, and displaying the fruit of the virgins have become so much. You call it prostitution. You know not what the Lord is made of by love. True identity of love is that I didn't sleep with you, yet I make love that is more than just sleeping in you. This is the true testimony of the Lord who knows the truth, and the truth is setting us free. They that believe it not or trust it not, the Lord commanded out of us, because you shall not be a testimony of a fruit of the Spirit. Because I have spoken, because the Lord whose own dwelling place is the covenant unto himself. This is holy, because it's holy. Let my goodness and command it. Command your angels descending and ascending, as in our business and our going and coming in, having assumed a position of leadership. Lord, may I never fail, even as I lead my good cause, leading in every way, even in the wilderness, I still lead in all places. May the spirit of testimony of righteousness and a reality of testimony and true testimony. Now is my time to say, the Lord has done it. Blessings is not a name of a person. A spirit is a functioning part of the Lord Almighty. His flesh that becomes flesh, His words that become flesh, and all this put together is a great testimony of heaven. Thank you so much that over time we have done, the Lord will not fail. 34 years being healed. May I be healed by the power I communicated before Mount Sinai and before Mount of Horeb and because Mount Olive. The Lord cannot fail. Decree every spoken word against the righteous. The Lord had defeated it by His holiness of dwelling covenant. Thank you so much. What the Lord has done today. In that place of the Lord, if you have any good, support what is good, that you may receive of abundance of good. For if you are lost, the one who looks for you always requires. Thank you so much. This is the true beauty. You realize that after this prayer, I have changed. Why? Because the Lord will never want me to be the same way. This is holy, and the most holy of the Lord, the most holy indeed. May this holy true identity of my purity connect with my good people. Every vision through this that is trying to portray something unclean, impure, may the power of the Mount of Olive, the true dwelling power of the Mount Sinai, the great Mount of Horeb, greatest power, the Lord right before His throne, He that command the holies, and He did not fail. He that command His angels and not fail. May anything and anything that wants to dwell in the vessel of he who is already tall and young as it is, who wants man's goodness to be turned to an old man, I command you by the power of the Mount of Horeb, the Mount of Olives, the Mount Sinai. These are great people who shall present to you such a place, a wonderful place. Every demonic attack, devils, I command you, respect the authority of the Lord. You cannot dwell in my body. Thank you so much. I won this battle not because I am what you think you refer to that you are, but because there is a doing part of my walking and going and coming in. The flesh, the fruits that I eat, I do not waste it. The waters that I drink, I do not waste it. Father of praise, you deserve it. The Heavenly Father, your power, you never fail. And the word of heavens, you never fail. Every demon that try to take place, the Lord command them out because this dwelling covenant is Mount of Olive, Mount Horeb, Mount Sinai. This is the true identity, true witness. Our truth is given, not as somebody wants to do it. Thank you so much. You are not a failure, and I will not fail too. This is the simplest ever to say if I had any prayer. This is how we end it by saying the Lord who never fail. His identity never fail. I command every demon, every dwarf right before this mountain. I declare that the decree of the Lord in me. You can never put on myself here, except you know my height. I am not short nor a child. You are a deceiving human, and I command you, respect who is here. I decree the ones who are truth will never reduce my bones that are already tall to whatever you call disease. Every disease, I curse you right before the Mount of Sinai. I curse you right before Mount Horeb. I curse that disease before the Mount of Olives, because all this have wonderful people and connection. Thank you so much. Do you not know the Nkonya Mountain? I will prove that the Lord who's on the brilliant side will never fail to deliver, even in that wonderful life that is given. Thank you.